Good morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 9. Please subscribe. Fabulous lesson today. And it builds from our two previous lessons. And our two previous lessons, I see only the past, and my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. Today's lesson, I see nothing as it is now. Now, I haven't given you a one word for a lesson for a few days, but we have one for today. And that word, fabulous word, verisimilitude, a seeming reality. That's what this whole world is. This entire world as we experience it is a seeming reality. It is not real, but we have placed a lot of faith and belief in it so that it seems to be. Going to the lesson, it says, the idea obviously follows from the two preceding ones, as I said, but while you may be able to accept it intellectually, it is unlikely that it will mean anything to you as yet. However, understanding is not necessary at this point. In fact, the recognition that you do not understand is a prerequisite for undoing your false beliefs. A Janitism I have a whole book of them. I call them sometimes her affirmations, wisdom with a twist. One of them is, all I know is I do not know, and that's okay. When I can accept that I do not know, that opens up the way for me to know, for me to understand. And there's a wonderful line from chapter 14 in the text that tells us that those who remember always that they know nothing and who have become willing to learn everything will learn it. And we will learn everything. This will become clear to us. Going back to today's lesson, in fact, the recognition that you do not understand is a prerequisite for your undoing your false ideas. And these exercises are concerned with practice, not with understanding. You do not need to practice what you already understand, and that's true, okay? If I know my times tables and I understand them, I don't have to practice them anymore. It is difficult for the untrained mind to believe that what it seems to picture is not there, and it is. We've been walking around and living in this world, so now you're going to tell me that I don't see anything as it is now, and it really may not be there at all anyway. This is my virtual reality. Well, and we now, at this point in time, we have a tool that we can play with that actually tells us the same thing, but we call it a game. It's those goggles, those virtual reality goggles. And if you have one, or you know someone who does, and you play with it and you put it on and you're walking around in a world and you know it's not real. You might be in Egypt, you might be fighting a dragon. Who knows where you might be, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. But you know it's not real. That's a seeming reality. It seems real while you're in it, but as soon as you take off those goggles, you know it is not. It's difficult for the untrained mind in this world without goggles on to believe that what it seems to picture is not there. This idea can be quite disturbing and may meet with active resistance in any number of forms, yet that does not preclude applying it. No more than that is required for these or any of the other exercises in this book with these lessons. We were told in the beginning with the introduction, which we read, go back to January 1st, that some of the ideas this workbook presents you will find hard to believe, and others may seem to be quite startling. This does not matter. And some of them you may actively resist. That also, it does not matter. It's about the practicing of them and to just allow yourself to go ahead and practice without putting blocks up around what the wonderful result of these lessons, this practicing, this workbook can be for us. Now, in the second paragraph of today's lesson, it gives a beautiful few lines, and it is of hope, because it tells us that each small step will clear, as we practice, will clear a little of the darkness away, and understanding will finally come to lighten every corner of the mind that has been cleared of the debris that darkens it. lighten. And I love words that we can look at in more than one way. It lightens. It's going to shed light into the dark corners of our mind, but it will also relieve us of the heaviness of the thoughts of this world that have pulled us down and made us feel that we are so small and insignificant. Doing these lessons have so many benefits for us, just like smiling. So the practicing, 3 or 4 practice periods a day, each one about a minute. We can find that amount of time within our day. There will come a time when we are doing hourly practices and even more frequently than that. So welcome the fact that right now it's only 3 or 4 times a day and a minute or so each one. This one isn't with the mind searching. This one is to look around the room. And as you look around the room, you say, I do not see this blank as it is now. Now, there's a clue here of how many, many years this was scribed to us, because the first one is, I do not see this typewriter as it is now. You might be hard-pressed to find a typewriter anywhere. And I do not see this telephone as it is now, because that has also undergone many changes. Or I do not see this arm as it is now, and that too may have undergone many, many changes. So, but we begin this exercise, this practicing, with the things that are closest to us. We look at them. Don't try to cover every single item in the room or where you are. Just don't exclude anything specifically, but don't try to do everything. I do not see this door as it is now. I do not see that face as it is now. It's emphasized again that while complete inclusion should not be attempted, specific exclusion must be avoided. Be sure that you are honest with yourself in making that distinction, and you may be tempted to obscure it. And you may think, I'm not going to really think about that. But we are living in a seeming reality. This is what we truly have to realize. And to do these understands, even though they might be difficult to understand right now, it is a wonderful way to begin to undo what we have thought that is not real, and to realize it's just a seeming reality. It really isn't threatening. It really will begin to lighten us up so that we are open to finding and reaching the truth of what is real, and realizing first that this is not. Many of you know who Abraham is, and I'm not talking about the biblical character, but Abraham is a group of teachers in non-physical form. Has a quote. I liken it for this. I use it, and it is, you have to live in a house with no closets to realize you want closets. I have to realize that I'm living in a unreal world to realize that I want reality. So that's it for today, and I hope it helped. Remember, what we see, and even the good stuff, it's just a shadow of what will be. The shadows of past perception will be lifted, and it will be glorious. Like, share, subscribe, comment, smile, breathe. Smiling decreases our stress. It helps our immune function. It lowers blood pressure. It helps good cholesterol. It is a natural pain reliever and releases endorphins. That's why we smile, because the benefits are so amazing. Plus, we can share it. And we pray and we breathe. We pray for what we already have, but have yet to realize it. Okay? Let's realize it together. Namaste. Buster.